Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, good evening. My name is Mr. Yusuf Nsamba, the assessor of SDF, Skills Development Facilitation, as well as facilitator training, assessment practices, as well as moderations, mentorship and coaching, monitoring and evaluation, as well as general technical practices within the education and training development practices. So I'm just gonna have a quick video just to make a quick overview of what we discussed previously in SDF, and I just want to also outline certain things that we need to look at, and you are able to complete the necessary assessment. When we had our induction, literally on the 2nd of August, we did explain further details in terms of assessment practices relating to the skill development facilitation. We did actually elaborate much more onto what is SDF and what does it entail, the roles of an SDF skill development facilitator or practitioner, any aspects of SDF within the South African context or workplace, and how we can relate the roles and the duties of an SDF to what is expected from an employer within the working environment to enhance the benefits of having an SDF within an organization. So we also went ahead to explain the interlink or the linkages between the SDF and the National Skills Development Strategy. That is, the explanation of the National Development Skills Development Plan and the strategy, as well as the Act. The BEE, the Work Skills Development Planning, the annual training reports, and so on and so forth. So we did explain a lot, and also went ahead to know on how do you choose or conduct an analysis within an organization to identify the skills shortages or the skills gap within an organization. How do you match or map or align the skills needed to the objectives or the goals of the organization? That was one thing that also we did discuss. Now, I just want to allude to you much more onto the benefits of being an SDF. All right. So if you can go into your notes as well, you will be able to see much more details on through the learner guides, so you can be able to understand the aspect of you being a qualified practitioner as a skill development facilitator. One of the key things that you need to understand that before you become an SDF, you need to be appointed. Literally, before you can work as an SDF, you must be appointed by a skills levy paying organization or a levy payer. We call this a registered organization under the sector identification codes or the SIC code. So every entity, every organization that wants to improve the skills within an organization needs to register and map themselves onto a specific sector. So if you are into plumbing or you are doing construction, anything to do with building, then you need to map yourself with construction sector. Under the construction sector, there is a sector of education and training authority called SETA. CETA is different from SETA. So they seem similar, and also is different from SITA. The SETA for government, information. There is SETA for sector education and training authority, and SETA which is for construction, education and training authority. So the same applies to MQA, which is for mining qualification authority. So every economic sector within the Republic of South Africa has got a sector authority in terms of training and development that is mandated by the Department of Higher Education to enhance or to improve the quality of working force or labor force that is needed into that sector to produce the economic benefits, in terms of taxes to SARS. So that's the whole plan. So SARS is sitting here. If there is low collection, it means it will not be able to improve the standard of living of different communities of individuals. It means the budget from the minister or the Ministry of Finance won't be sufficient to cover up all the required amount that needs to be distributed and spent through a specific fiscal. So that what it entails, that if we have more taxpayers, more people will be able to pay taxes. More people will be able to pay taxes. So if we have more people who are skilled, it means more people will be able to pay taxes, because only skilled people will be able to get sufficient amount. They know the value, they know the growth, they know the importance of their taxes or whatever they are paying, how it's going to be improving onto the standards of fellow individuals or community development, stuff like that. So you as an SDF, you need to have an understanding that your organization that you are representing is actually a registered levy payer. It won't be of a benefit if you are working for an organization and is not registered. It means they're going to miss out in terms of claiming the taxes, or through the tax rebate, or through the levy, grants. They will be missing out. They won't be able to file, even if employees are registered as they are registered for payee, but if the organization itself is not registered or mapping the employees onto its registrations through SARS, they won't be able to claim, because there won't be any record to indicate that the money that is being deducted from employees is actually from this organization, and this percentage is actually being given to a specific sector, to improve onto that sector education, or training development, or anything that needs to be improved within that sector. So there won't be any record. So it's always advisable that if you are going to be working for an organization as an SDF, could be your organization, it could be your company, as long as it's registered, it can be able to tap into this benefit. Number two, you need to ensure that the organization actually complies with the Skills Development Act and as well as the Employment Equity Act. Otherwise, you won't be able to file a valid application for your grant. When we file for grants or any application, they always ask the numbers of employees that are registered against a specific levy number. So we need to know that how employment was obtained. When you hire individuals, they've been selected based onto the employment equity, and they have valid contracts that you are going to use against their skills gap analysis. Because anyway, if an organization is intending to grow in terms of production, it will need to increase on the capacity of the employees that it has, or it has to improve on the quality of skills that the employees have to produce better. So the only way to do that is to understand the employment equity, to understand the skills that these individuals that you have in your organization, what skills they possess, and how can those skills be used to grow or to advance your organization to produce better results. All right. If you don't do so, literally, you are going to be limiting your organization in terms of applying and getting access to these grants. And also remember, there are penalties of organizations that are not filing. through the specific WSPs or workplace skills planning and annual training reports. Or if you are not filing and you have got specific number of employees and you are literally giving them pay slips, the pay slip shows that there's levies that have been deducted from in terms of payee, it means you are liable for a fine or an imprisonment if you are found guilty of malpractices in terms of labor practices. So you are supposed to advise the employer, or you're supposed to advise individuals that they need to keep on checking onto the validity of their registration if they are registered against the organization as levy payers. At the same time, if their monies or their deductions and the taxes that they are paying actually is being paid to SARS. There are all those processes that we will look into as we advance through this process of this qualification or this program. Also, you need to understand that it is mandatory for every levy payer to file or to submit what is called the workplace skills planning. A workplace skills plan is like a whole map on how do you intend to train and skill up individuals within your organization or within the community where you are working. It could be that you just need to upskill individuals so that they can keep up with the task that you are giving or that you have in your organization, the duties that you have allocated. Maybe someone lacks specific, key skills, and then you can enroll them onto a specific program. The money that you're gonna use to pay actually to train that individual, you don't need to spend it from your own pocket. You just go and file a mandatory grant. Say, I need to train 10 people within my company on this skill, and you appoint either a skills development training provider, if you don't have one internally, and then you file. Then that money will come from the SETA. That's the money that you've been paying, the 1.5% that you've been paying off the salaries of your earnings, your total earnings, or the salaries from the employees that you are deducting. That money goes towards their skill development. So you need to submit the workplace skills plan as well as the annual training reports on an annual basis. Every SETA has got a window which always open up. That window is opening up normally for every organization that is registered to submit their WSPs or the annual training reports on time. You are able to claim as a company or as an organization that is registered 20% of the skills levies that you have paid. Claim back that 20%, and that 20% is actually made available. So whatever you pay, 20% at least is mandatory. You can claim it back onto your training and skill development within your organization. Otherwise, if you do not claim back, that money will be kept and is accumulating somewhere in a sector for coffers somewhere. And then the SETA will be obliged to give it out to other entities through their mandate to give out discretionary grants to other individuals or other organizations. So you need to claim back. The discretionary grants will be can also be applied against for in terms of bursaries, learnerships, to upskill your internal staff members or to bring in new interns. Those are individuals that have qualified, but they need specific skills, and you have those skills that you need. They can come in and work for you. The salaries that would have been like salaries, you won't need to pay because you have applied. There will be a stipend that will substitute their salaries into a stipend, so that amount can cover up their cost of living, transport, and all that as they are working or conducting their duties for your organization. It's quite a number of things that an SDF does. Not only just to monitor and see that WSPs are submitted, but the purpose of an SDF is actually to improve the entire workforce within the organization. The skills that are needed for an organization to perform better is actually monitored by an SDF, and wherever there is a deviation in terms of returns on investment, It's a role of the SDF to come in and identify, conduct an analysis why there's a drop in sales, why there's a poor performance in terms of the annual returns. Then the SDF can be able to facilitate in terms of what skills are lacking to improve. Before you can actually dismiss individuals or do anything, you have to identify where is the gap, where is the lack, and where is the organization failing in terms of its chain value systems. Where is it failing? Then you can be able to enhance performance through upskilling or reskilling of individuals. As well, an SDF can work directly as an HR or a strategic manager, skill development manager within the organization to align what specific skills are needed in a specific business initiative. Like an example, businesses normally revolve, they grow. They are not, a business must be, in that mode of growth. You cannot have a business or an organization that is representing and is stagnated for number of years. It must grow, because when you write up a business plan, you have got projections that you have allocated so that the milestone that you need to meet as a business. So, but when you see there's nothing moving, it means there's a lack either in terms of the human capacity or human capital. There's a lack. And that needs to be addressed. And the only person that can do that is either a trained human resource manager or a skill development facilitator within the organization that can align the skills initiative with the business strategy and also help the organization in terms of developing specific initiatives that can be able to close up the gaps, specific skills that can be able to close up the gaps that are been identified within the business operations, and also other future workforce needs that are needed to propel the business to its future, projections. That's the work of an SDF. An SDF also can go ahead to address and support the BEE scorecard contributions. How do you do that? The skill development facilitator will be able to map and outline and iron out the priority elements that are needed within the BEE scorecard. It's the role of an SDF to identify what elements, what priorities needs to be taken into place so that the business can actually achieve the minimum, points to be allocated. The skill development facilitator as well ensures that trainings spend is correctly recorded and all trainings are reported through its annual training reports. And that will be able to be used to boost up the BEE ratings, because through the BEE ratings, there is a need to present evidence of any training that has been given onto staff members. So you can only do so if you have records. So the person who is there to motivate and encourage these things to take place is actually the skills development facilitator. Your role as a skills development facilitator is well also to conduct what is called employee wellness programs. Because whenever there is deficiency and lack of motivation within a workforce or a unit, a business unit, there is always going to be poor performance. So when you conduct a performance appraisal, literally you will identify that there are issues that are being outlined, personal issues. When people fill up those forms, they can outline their challenges, personal challenges, things that they are going through, either loss of a family member or a loss of, a relationship, or going through financial hardship and all that. Those things contribute towards performance. When someone going through some tough times or some personal things or issues, they always manifest those issues in terms of performance. Those affect their direct performance and work that they need to be producing. And ultimately, they will be underperformance. If one person is always dragging a unit in terms of submitting reports, there is delays and delays and delays, means somewhere, somehow, one person is having an issue. It's a supply chain, it's a whole chain value. If just like a chain of a bicycle, that if you remove one notch, the entire bicycle will stand still. It won't move because the pedals won't be able to move. There's no chain that is connecting every notch to move the pedal together. The gears that have been put as mechanism, they won't be able to move simply because there is a leakage or there is a blockage of a specific part of the chain value. So literally, it's your role as an SDF to conduct those kind of wellness programs through your reporting strategies. And the only way to identify is if you have a relationship between yourself and the employees and understanding them on a personal, capacity, whereby you can be able to address their issues on an individual basis rather than a collection or a collective of a business unit, but individually you can be able to know what individuals are going through. This is the person who is able to counsel individuals in terms of personal issues. So your role as an SDF, not only just to identify skills, but also you work as a counselor within the organization to support the wellness of individuals or members of the workforce or the employees of an organization. By doing so, you'll be able to motivate individuals to grow personally through personal growth and development, as well as building up the morale of individuals, creating loyalty, and reduce all this work stress, and work overload within the organization. Some person might not be really going through a lot, but they are overloaded simply because there is a blockage somewhere and work is accumulating onto one individual rather than being distributed. A business is supposed to be, a flow of information and systems all working together for one objective, to create a strong business turnover at the end of the day and grow individuals personally, individually within the organization. Not only that the director is supposed to grow as themselves, but all the entire chain, they grow as the business establishes itself and becomes steady and firm. The only person to do so is actually to bring all together these stakeholders is actually you as an SDF. Now, not only that you capacitate the organization in meeting its strategic objectives and goals, but also to support the career growth of individual employees. There are some people that might be into your company, but they might not have the specific skills that are needed within the business unit or key performance areas to meet up the standards that they are supposed to be operating on. So it's your role to identify such and then propose to them one-on-one. It doesn't need to be announced to everybody that you are supporting them. It could be one-on-one consultation and support and counseling, and then you are able to support them on how they can improve their growth. You must be strong in terms of financial strategies and financial knowledge as an SDF. So I encourage you to go and read more about our program onto managing finance through skill development. So there's a full program that we have for financial management of an SDF. It's an entire program that encourages you as an SDF to also be a financial advisor or a financial individual equipped with such knowledge in terms of motivating members of a business unit and also encouraging them on how they can manage their own personal finances. So as one of the program that you need to capacitate yourself, because you won't be able as an SDF, you are broke, you as an individual, and then you're going to go and advise people on finances, but yourself, you're not doing well. So you need to do first, favor to yourself before you can actually pull up other individuals. Go and read much more onto financial management and the tools for financial indicators of a business. Go and look up for those programs. Go to our website as well. There's a program that we have for business financial management for non-financial managers. So it's financial management for non-financial managers. We have that full program. that you might not be a financial manager or a guru in finance, but you have got basic skills and skills that in finance management that can propel a business and also give advice to fellow employees within a business unit to be able to overcome specific financial challenges that they might be facing. You also need to be able to support members in terms of recognition of prior learning. There are some people that are already skilled through the knowledge that they have acquired over a period of time. So they have got this knowledge, they know how to do things, but they have no physical qualification to prove it. All right, they have no physical paper to prove, there's no any award or a certificate to prove that they have specific skills. So you as an SDF, it's your role to establish a RPL system within an organization to improve individuals qualification levels so that they can excel and accelerate either positively horizontal articulation or vertically go and add up more qualification on what they have. Also remember that you as an SDF, is your role to create a culture of lifelong learning within the organization, because it's you to make sure that learning does not stop within the entity. It's a continuation. You need to create specific skills training internally that keep on motivating individuals. Could be just a 1-hour session on maybe customer care, could be on time management, it could be on record keeping, small courses or skills that you can give. Those soft skills, they can enhance one's growth and development. So in summary, you as an SDF, you act as a bridge, a bridge between the organization, the employees, and the sectors of education and training authority, as well as ensuring that there is compliancy, funding can be applied for, there is growth opportunities within the organization and outside the organization. So it must not be only within the organization, but also outside the organization through skill development that will transform individuals, workplace, and also the community where the organization is working from. I believe that gives us a full understanding and summary of the roles of an SDF. So I want you to go further and read much more about the Skills Development Act, understand it much better, and you'll be able to attempt some of the key questions that you might be having already that you can answer yourself. Meet me again into our next video or next session, and look out, share this video to any other individual who might be interested into SDF. I'll outline or give out our links into our bio, share these links, and also you can visit our website bbtinstitute.com for more of our other training interventions that we do have. Alternative, send us a WhatsApp on 0783596200 if you need assistance in terms of understanding skill development facilitation within your organization, or perhaps you have an entity, you've been paying levies, you've never filed any WSP or any workplace skills plan submission, you've never done that, you have never claimed any grant, but you are paying, you are a taxpayer or a levy payer. Please contact us on 0783596200. Also, alternatively, send us an email at info@bbtinstitute.com. info@bbtinstitute.com. That is info@bbtinstitute.com. Bravo Tango Institute, one word, .com, and we will be able to respond to you, set up an appointment, and sit down with you to give you an understanding on how we can be able to assist you. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day.